Hi, good evening. Welcome to Upstream 1969.
Hi, good evening. Welcome to Upstream 1969, and actually welcome to Moments by Edmund. And tonight is actually the theme is outdoor photography, ordinary to extraordinary. And I have with my guests, two special guests. This JP
Jayaprakash Bojan.
Jayaprakash, yes, and Dan Ng. So
Hello.
in fact, before we start sharing about their photography, videography journey, and some of you all may have already followed his Facebook, Instagram. So many people have been talking about the wildlife video that they created. So before that,
let's share this segment live. Okay, I'll do that at the same time. Let's spend 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, Upstream 1969. Then from here, we start sharing out. I always like to be
able to share all this, because nowadays it's not just about recording, it's about able to review later on. And in fact, from photography to cooking to even grooming, a lot of time you can play back. And thanks to technology, we can actually play back and watch again. So do share and like. Okay? So how y'all feel today?
Great, man. Firstly, thank you for having us here.
Yeah, thanks for having us here.
Yeah, in fact,
I get to
two of them very we can say a lot of attractions. Actually, I passed shooting some pictures, but I'm not too sure what are they doing. Until one day, I saw a notebook that they're actually discussing something. Then I realized that they are trying to create a story. Then the killing one lead to another, then we become friends, and there we are.
Yeah.
So a quick intro again. Let's shot together again. Welcome to everybody to Moments by Edmund, outdoor photography, ordinary to extraordinary. Okay. Yeah. So in fact, I'm very excited when I got they invite them to come for this segment itself. Some technical issue. So let's hang on. Yeah. So give us more time to interact.
Yeah, that's good.
So you're also quite a morning person.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
definitely.
I've
These guys.
been a morning person all my life.
But youngster, I seldom see them morning person. Youngster, by the time they
I mean,
play game, right, they finish at 3 a.m.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, but I'm not. I mean, technically, I've not been a morning person all my life because I spent about 20 years on the corporate side. This is not what I was doing all my life.
So what's your corporate life? IT.
I worked with. I started my career with GE. I worked with Dell Computers for a while. My last job was with Accenture.
Essential.
Yeah.
Wow.
Before I decided to quit and pursue my passion for travel and
That was
photography.
6 years ago. Or more
Yeah,
than that.
6 years ago.
Wow. Quite
So
similar.
yeah, so you can say I've been more of a morning person in the last 6 years.
Yeah. Okay. So welcome back. So sorry for the slight delay because of technical issue, and now we're back. And just now we were sorting out. We were actually get to hear each of them about their transformation. In fact, JP was getting known that he was actually from corporate before 6 years ago, become a full-time photographer because of the passion of photography. And just a quick intro again. JP, in short, he is actually a National Geographic Photographer of the Year 2017 recipient. In fact, those who actually follow all these NeoGeo pictures itself to get into that level,
really need a lot of commitment and a lot of really skill. And the key thing we always say, we make things happen, not just let things happen. So we can hear a story, and the key thing is a lot of technical skill itself, right? It's not to justify whether a person is good photographer, a professional,
by the technical skill he or she has.
it's actually based on a lot is about perspective. So later I'll get him to share about his journey.
And of course, the next person is actually Dan.
What's up,
So
guys?
I can say among three, he look the youngest. And, in fact, he's 26 years old.
Yeah.
He's actually from LaSalle School. And after hearing the story, he's actually from an illustrator, doing animation, moving and growing himself into photo and videography. And I like the fact that when I look at social media, he and his fiancée, actually, Emily, actually, they
Together, travel around the globe.
at the age of 26, they take a lot of nice moments and traveling at the same time, and the kidding create capturing a lot of stories that people would not take for granted. It can be in the train station, but actually it can bring out a very nice story. So to them, actually, in fact, it's a very nice couple. In fact, we're talking about it, I might divide them together. Okay, so without further ado, I think, in fact, all of us is always looking forward to learn something. Like the earlier session was Annabelle doing polymer clay ornaments, and after that was Tabata. Like tonight's session is about people that love nature. It may not be actually very skillful in your photography yet, but that's what we want to learn. So without further ado, I want to hear from JP. So JP, share your journey and also some takeaway for the audience.
Sure. Thank you, Edmund. Again, thank you for having us here. I think I'll take off from where you just left, right?
Yes.
You spoke about learning. I think it's a lifelong learning journey. I think the day we feel we have done it all, seen it all, I think is the day when everything goes down like a snake and ladder game, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a lifelong journey. There's no end to learning. I mean, I'm learning from him. I've learned so much stuff from him because I'm not very proficient with video. So I'm learning a lot of stuff from him. So anyways,
Likewise, man. Likewise.
so
Much to learn.
I know we have limited time, so I want to make the best use of time and share something that will be of good use for hobbyists, professionals, as simple as mobile phone photographers.
Yes.
Predominantly, I'm a nature and wildlife photographer. I've spent the last 6 years mostly doing photography on the conservation side, doing stories around what's happening with the palm oil issues in Borneo, issues with orangutans, issues with destruction of rainforests and stuff like that. So that's been my focus area for the last few years. But I think this year, while COVID is kind of put us all on the back seat.
Yeah.
It's been a tough year, but I think it's also been a blessing in disguise because I never really had the opportunity to explore my own backyard, which is Passaris Park. I live in Passaris, so that's how it started. So with this whole
actually live.
absolutely.
Yeah, East side is.
So I think when the whole COVID situation started, I was wondering what to do because pretty much because most of us were working overseas, so our projects are all on hold right now because we can't travel. So I said I want to do something more substantial in my backyard. So that's how I met Dan, and we ended up with this
beautiful project.
Wonderful, beautiful video.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, moving on to I think when we met with Edmund, Edmund said it would be nice if we could just share some tips, some views on how we could all become better photographers. So I would not say I'm a great photographer. I'm still learning, but I think I can share what I know and a few takeaways.
Yeah.
My first takeaway is as simple as always carry a camera with you, irrespective of where you go, what you do.
Totally agree. A lot of moments actually you may say, should I bring my camera? Should I bring my gear? Yes.
Best camera is the one you have.
Best camera is the one, yes.
Yeah, because things happen, on a flash.
Yes.
So you want to be able to capture as many moments as possible.
Always ready.
Yeah.
all
So
times.
you don't really have to carry professional cameras or DSLRs. It really doesn't matter as long as it's a camera, right? In fact, I think mobile phone cameras have come a really long way. They've also started eating up some of the big players in terms of cameras. I think more and more people prefer mobile phones over heavy equipment because it's easy to travel.
Yeah.
So cameras are irrelevant as long as it's a camera. You can take amazing pictures. Tip number one from my end, angles. If you're out there and if you're trying to photograph something, try and look for unique angles, move around, maybe even move around a tree. Maybe you want to use something in the foreground.
Let's see one of your pictures. Let's see one of your pictures from the PowerPoint slide.
I think it'd be easier for me to explain.
Okay. So you can see a lot of pictures that you created, in fact, with a purpose. And a lot of time we can see there's a story behind it. During the time that I started with film, we are so precious about every film. one film is only like 36 or 24.
Every shot
Yeah.
counts,
No
huh?
preview. But not too many occasions that, yeah, okay, your pictures, wow.
Okay, so I
Wow.
mean, that's I think a lot of people have seen this picture. That it's kind of like the shot which
Epic shot.
put me to fame, you know, or rather, you can say, kind of like a shortcut to being a professional photographer in a way, if you have to look at it. Can we move on to the next few slides?
Yeah.
So I want to just go through the slides one by one. So maybe you want to give a few seconds on each slide so people get to see those pictures.
You just move the pictures, let the viewers see.
Yeah, maybe
Wow.
Wow,
Nice one.
This is in the park, man.
Yeah.
It's right there in Pasir Ris
Pasir
Park.
Ris Park.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what's interesting is every picture that you see on the screen right now, I actually took those pictures from a small space which is as big as maybe like 100 square feet. Let's say the size of this room.
Wow.
So every picture I took that you see right now on the screen,
Okay, you
is
should make
just
it bigger.
a
Should make it
100
bigger
square
to
feet
show one
space,
the
but
picture.
just in different directions.
Yeah.
So as simple as if you know which side the sun rises, you have a sunrise shot. If you know which side the moon rises, you have a moonrise shot. But this was a moonset shot. This one was a moonrise shot.
Wow.
So I think it's all about perspective. A lot of people come to the Pasir Ris Park. So initially, when I shared some of these pictures, a lot of people were actually questioning me if it was really Pasir Ris, because they were like,
Yeah.
"We're there every day. How come we don't get to see some of this stuff?"
Yeah.
But I think you just need to explore a little more.
Yeah. And I think a lot of viewers will also like to know is that when you actually, what's in your mind when you capture all these shots? Is it you already plan ahead that this location you visited yesterday, so you go back to the same location to capture some things that you already preset in your mind, or is that purpose? How do you?
So I think as a
mind?
photographer, I've evolved. One of the biggest tips that I can give, and in fact, I keep telling Dan as well, visualizing something that you want to do is very, very important. So as a photographer, I think now I spend a lot of time visualizing, in the sense I close my eyes and say, hey, you know what, I want to get a shot of a beautiful heron against the moonlight, or I want to get a bird flying against the sun. For example, if you look at some of those pictures, there's a picture of a mud skipper.
Mud skipper.
Can we go to the picture?
Let's see the
Can we
picture
just browse
again.
through some of those pictures? If you really look at it,
It can be the full screen. Wow.
Oh, that's the epic python that we saw.
okay, maybe we'll start with the Python.
Yeah, can you show the full screen? Wow.
So it was published by Mothership. The picture went viral. I think almost 2 million people had liked this picture. But what's fun is this is a mobile phone picture. You know, a lot of people did not know that it was shot on a mobile phone. Everybody was thinking that it was a shot taken with a professional camera, but it's just a mobile phone picture. But it was all about getting the right angle and the perspective.
Yes.
So when I took this shot, I just wanted to show people a more zoomed out view of where the python is against that beautiful backdrop of the sunrise. So I wanted to use a wider angle, and the only wider angle camera I had was my mobile phone, because usually when we're shooting in the wild, we're carrying like those big long lenses.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, it's as simple as that, right? So so that was a sunrise shot. We have crazy skies. In fact, you can do like a series of pictures just with the skies. Singapore has like unbelievably amazing skies.
I totally agree. I totally agree. So in the morning, you can see the transition of the color, so vibrant, and another color can be purplish, blue. Yeah, and so kidding actually, what subject to place inside? It's just the skyline, but the placement of the subject, which is the what you can see from this picture, the bird itself.
Skill to it.
So
Skill to it, yeah.
observation is the key, you know, especially if you want to do nature or wildlife, observation is the key. The more time you spend observing what's happening around you, to start with, your photographs get better.
Yeah.
That's actually like a pro tip he always shares with me.
So having spent a lot of time there, I started understanding the place. I started understanding where the herons live, where they fly, what time they fly, when do they fly against the sky, what time is the sunrise, what time is the moonrise. So you can just spend more time observing what's around you. So an example to explain that would be the last two pictures. If you move to the last two pictures, yeah, just stay on this picture for a second, right? That's a beautiful picture of red shank lango that I photographed in Vietnam.
Wow.
It's a very rare lango. There are only about 300 to 400 of them alive. It's very close to a place called Da Nang. It's called the Monkey Mountain. Nevertheless, so if you look at this picture, yes, it's a beautiful picture. There's a beautiful monkey there. But then the next picture is more interesting. You know why the next picture is more interesting? Because the first picture, I could show people that, okay, there's this beautiful monkey in Vietnam. But the second picture is what gives people the perspective of where actually I was. So traditional wildlife photography, usually everybody's interested in expensive equipment. It's all about the long lenses, get really close to the subject and shoot portraits. In fact, I keep telling them, you want to shoot wildlife portraits? Yes, wildlife portraits is fun. I also shoot wildlife portraits, but that's something you can do in the zoo, right? Why spend why spend thousands of dollars to travel the world to shoot portraits? It just doesn't make sense. So when you add a little bit of the habitat, the trees, the leaves, the
You really show the
colors,
whole surrounding, the whole ambient, bring out the story.
your pictures become unique because it's different from all the other pictures that everybody's taking. Because usually what happens is, if you're out there photographing, there are another 10 people out there photographing along with you. So as a photographer, if you want to push yourself to do better, the question you may want to ask yourself is, how can I stand out from all the other 10 photographers who are taking a picture in the same place at the same time?
I think it's a very good point, very, very valid. A lot of time when I was in Pasir Ris Park, in a lot of other parks, I see people set up tripod and you can see a bunch of people focusing the same subject itself. And a lot of time we can say it's perspective. And also at the same time, you got to be able to take a step back.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Wow.
So a more holistic view, you know. We're always in a rush to take photographs. So sometimes you got to let go of your camera, step back and just look around and kind of absorb what's there in front of you, you know. Then you kind of start seeing things that you didn't see initially when you were just looking through your camera.
So then you got the same feeling also. You come to a dilemma that this thing is so nice. Should I focus here or focus the next thing?
And we learn from mistakes, right? I was not always like this. I used to be like everybody else. So when you want to be more creative, right? You have the technical aspects and then you have the creative aspects. Everybody is worried about the technical aspects, but technical aspects is actually not difficult, you know. It's just a matter of time before you understand what's ISO, what's exposure, and all the stuff is actually very, very easy.
But I think one time you should be able to understand it totality. That next thing,
What is hard to teach or what's hard to learn is to be creative. So that's where I think each individual has different perspectives, different people have different viewpoints, different ideas. So everybody can be themselves and create something different and something new. So sometimes, you know, step back, just breathe, look around and see what's around you. So you get to see more things than what you would have seen just looking through the camera.
Solid point, man.
One last point I want to say before we move on to Dan. When I meet a lot of my friends, I have a lot of friends who are not necessarily professional photographers. Okay, the only difference between a pro and a non-pro is a pro makes a living out of photography, and a hobbyist is just a hobbyist. A pro does not necessarily mean a pro is an amazing photographer, and a hobbyist is not an amazing photographer. I have friends who are not pro photographers, but who are way better photographers than me. But the only difference is I chose this to be my bread and butter. So I just wanted to clarify that, because generally people think just because you're a pro photographer, like, you know, oh, you're there or you're great. It's not true. You know, anybody can be a better photographer. And the reason I wanted to say that, a lot of my friends who are mobile phone photographers or hobbyist photographers, most of them hide behind this concept of, oh, I don't have good cameras, or you know, I'm just a mobile phone photographer. That is the biggest excuse you can give as an artist, even if you're just a hobbyist. So I would tell people, don't hide behind this, oh, I'm not a pro, oh, I only have a mobile phone. No, a camera is a camera, right?
I like you highlight this point. In fact, a lot of audience or even a lot of people that just are asking a lot of time, when you see a very nice picture, instead of asking what is the concept behind it, ask it which camera you use, which brand you use. Then the thing is it more technical skill? Is it F16? But actually, it's not just about the camera, and it's not just like what JP is mentioning. It's not about whether you're pro, and pro doesn't mean that you're super good. But if you're a passionate person that actually really good itself, you're mastering itself, you also can be stand up. And you don't need to be hide behind the camera itself or behind the scene most of the time, right?
Yeah. So I mean, don't. So basically, I'm saying don't hide behind the excuse of I'm not a pro or I don't have a great camera. It's got nothing to do with taking great pictures. For example, go back to the mud skipper shot that was shot on the phone.
Let's see the mud skipper shot.
So
in fact, really,
just a few months ago, not a few months ago, just a month ago, we did a project with a mobile phone. I mean, I have an NDA, so I cannot disclose what mobile phone. So one of the mobile phone companies reached out to me and they gave me a prototype of the phone, and they said, hey, before the launch of the new phone, can you take some pictures for us? You know, something different, something new that people have not seen. And that's when I kind of hired Dan to shoot behind the scenes for me.
Yeah.
If you skip through, there's one more mud skipper shot where you can see the beach in the background. You can just browse through some of those images.
all this taken in Pasir Ris.
All this is in Pasir Ris.
Wow.
Magical place, yeah.
Magical place, yeah.
Times of the day. Next one. That's the shot.
Okay, can zoom out with the full pictures.
Right. It's just a mud skipper. So the vision for my shot was very simple. So something I teach about is storytelling. So I always tell people, doesn't matter even if you're a hobbyist photographer, photograph with intent. That means photograph with an idea, think about some ideas, have a vision of what you want to do, and then see how you can bring your vision to life.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. So I wanted to do something for this mobile phone company. So in my mind, I was thinking, because I used to see these mud skippers on the beach. So in my mind, I was thinking, this is my view of the world, right? If I'm standing at the beach, I can see the beach, I can see the people. That's my view of the beach.
Yes.
So in my mind, I was thinking, how would the mud skipper's view of the world look like? Right? That's an idea.
Very good idea.
The mud skipper's view of the world.
Yeah.
The next question was, how do I bring that idea to life in the form of a picture? That's how we ended up with that picture. That's
Wonderful.
nothing but the mud skipper's view of the beach right there.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. As a mobile photographer, which is also very interesting that I'm also picking up in terms of mobile photography. In fact, it's not the same thing again. It's about anger. It's about telling story. I always like the fact that when PPJ mentioning, it's about how you actually conceptualize something, and from the something itself, you create the things you wanted to showcase. And at the perspective that this small creature, the mud skipper is looking out the whole expression. Let the audience view it. At the end of the day, this is what is actually he's saying. So in fact, as an audience itself, for your takeaway for the audience that out there, these are the small things that you picked up along the way that you can be better and better even with a smartphone. And with a smartphone, with the perspective itself, tell a story, tell a purpose. Continue, JP.
Just to leave the audience with something interesting, maybe when you guys go back and look at the video and look at some of the pictures I shared, you can see just out of a small area, I've covered all angles. That's what I mean. I covered the sunrise, I covered the moonrise, I covered the moonset.
Same area, all these are within
just one area, like 100 square feet. And I went down to the ground after the mud skipper. So it's like pretty much you covered the whole area. So sometimes, like I said, you just need to step back, see what's around you, spend most time observing, and then you'll be amazed at the kind of pictures you can take.
I think both of us will learn this another mindset, spectrum to look at it. The same thing is a lot of time we really go around places hunting, and especially to me, I love running. I thought you go to different places, and a lot of time you start taking this scene after another, and you're so excited that you miss out certain things, certain moments. So like what JP mentioned, if you were to just relax yourself, look around the environment, take a step, and actually different angle, even in the same position, like what you see from the picture itself, brilliant pictures can turn out from an ordinary location to extraordinary. Thank you so much, JP. Wow, so much to learn.
Yeah, I think
Hey,
it's more than
amazing,
enough.
man.
next
Wow,
person will be Dan. Yes.
What's up, guys? So I just want to hop on to the idea of like what they were already mentioning, like perspective, right? Like photography is all about perspective, and kind of so is life. Life is about perspective and how you see things and how you perceive things. So I'm a travel content creator. I've been doing this with my fiancée Evelyn for about 4 years now.
Wow.
And every month we're like traveling from one place to another. It's been our constant lifestyle like that. So this year with COVID, things really took a change, took a change in our lifestyle, and everything just totally overturned. So it was like a total shift in perspective. I mean, at the beginning we were like, oh my god, what do we do now? Like our job is so affected. We can't travel anymore. What are we gonna do for our living?
Yeah.
But then we took the time, because like, now that you have so much time to yourself, you start to reflect and think, like, what can you do more? Now that you have so much time, what more can you do? Sometimes you don't have to have more items, more materials, more things that help you do things, but sometimes everything is already right in front of you. So that allows you to, with like sometimes with limitations, that allows you to get more innovative and creative with what you do. So it was kind of difficult for us to begin creating content again in Singapore because we're quite a small country, right? And we've basically shot almost everything around here. So how do we like change up the game plan and like make it interesting again? So that got me thinking like now I gotta go out there, like he said, like observe a lot more.
Yeah.
Like really just take the time, be present in the moment, and sometimes that will kind of change your life, change how you see things, change how you see everything. If you can just like pull up the picture.
I like that Dan was mentioning he's a travel content
Creator.
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 Yeah, so basically
So
we
wonderful.
take
Yeah.
pictures and videos of like overseas places to share the beauty
And
of the
the
world.
interesting thing, in fact, COVID from us.
Yeah,
And if you're really not traveling, a lot of people get depressed that going to travel and when can it be the same again? It's no more the same anymore. It's a new norm and we need to transform ourselves. And I hear from Dan, it's actually for the last 4 years, 6
yeah,
you've been doing that.
yeah.
And now actually, you don't just stop there. You transform yourself.
Like, push yourself to do more.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's what I really believe in. Like in life, you really just gotta keep doing things, do new things, explore new things. Life is all about experience. You wanna, at the end of the day, when you're old, you wanna live a really fulfilling life. At least that's what I believe. I wanna look back at.
You're 26 years old, but you talk like you're already 30 plus already. Yeah. Oh, wow.
What was I saying again?
No, forget it.
Okay. But yeah, like I really want to make, like to me, I really want to make memories and make experience so that I remember them, and when I can look back, maybe when I'm like dying or what, I can die with a smile. Like I can go in peace. I'm happy. So that's what I'm kind of pursuing. Like that's why I tell people around me, so like pursue happiness, and like instead of pursuing like money and all these kind of things, like pursue something you like. Like yeah, so that's kind of how I got started in this journey of traveling. Yeah.
Cool. So let's see some of your pictures. Ordinary to extraordinary.
Yeah, so these
Pictures are also taken here in Pasir Ris Park.
Yeah.
I think largely our audience, I'm guessing, is Singapore audience.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
so
While I have
Because of your maybe reach out to overseas. It's
while,
actually
while we have pictures from all over the globe, we thought we focus a little more on domestic pictures.
yes, yes.
Yeah. So we want to focus on domestic pictures and kind of show you how you look in a different perspective.
In fact, the key thing is Singapore itself, a lot of people already have this common thinking that it's only shopping, and it's nothing much, and always, but there's nothing much. And thanks to COVID again, of course, you can take Singapore tourist promotion, but talking about rediscovery Singapore. That's why people got the more chance to step out.
And really
yeah.
explore and delve
Yes,
in.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So in fact, there's a lot of wonderful areas if we really take a step out
Yeah.
and really observe things that's happening around us.
Like a reset button.
Reset button, yes, yes.
It's a cool thing. So like
Wow,
this shot
this picture.
here, my friend.
So that's your fiancée, Emily.
So beautiful, right?
So beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, so she's your model. Time.
Yeah, so this is like a couple of pictures taken by our friend Renee.
Wow.
Yeah, so we had the idea, we always wanted to create like love, like couple pictures and stuff like that. And we just want a different twist to it. we wanted to create, because it was during Halloween. So usually by the time we'll be overseas, we want to have like 4 pictures. How do we create that mood and everything all over
You
again?
look like overseas pictures somehow, yeah.
That's the idea, sometimes you can find places around you. Maybe it could even be in this room, but wherever you are, just observe a little bit more. Maybe you can blow them up larger than life. Make them something different. So,
Looking at the camera.
sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, make them something different. So it also can go down to changing the colors of the scene, how you perceive the place, but all of it really just boils down to the idea of like what you want to create. So that's kind of how you want to push the boundaries and don't think of, oh no, I'm stuck here in Singapore. There's like so little things to do here in this country, like blah 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 blah. You not think of what can I do.
Yeah.
So once you have that shift in mindset, right, you start to do a lot more, things. So this was taken in Pasir Ris.
Pasir Ris.
And you see those leaves down there, of course they don't belong to the sea.
Yeah.
That's like big leaves off the
Yeah.
line and place them there. But who will know? Like everybody is when they look at your photos and videos, they're all sold by our idea. And selling them like the quality of life. This is kind of what we want to share with our audience and our
Wonderful,
viewers.
wonderful. And you mentioned Pasir Ris, and in this kind of setting itself, people may thought it's in Korea or somewhere, but it's in the heartland area. Wow.
Everything is really just
Is
right
there
there.
like another picture that you next picture? Yeah. Wow.
All this, can you see the full picture actually? Okay, so this is also in Pasir Ris. You can see the full picture.
It's a portrait picture.
Yeah,
or?
it's a portrait picture.
I think this
This is a Halloween shot, lah. So
Oh.
we wanted to get fun with it. So we brought the props and everything to the park really early in the morning to make sure that there's also nobody around, so there's no crowd. We can just like work in peace.
That's good. Yeah.
Wow.
That's good. Yeah, so we really just got out there and had fun with it. I mean, if you look at this picture, we had the idea like, okay, we want ourselves to be like in the dark woods, like a forest, like a mysterious vibe, that kind of stuff. So I do a lot of rollerblading, so I would say to Pasir Ris. So every time
Learn from you. Rollerblade.
I'm on the move, so I look at all these certain corners of Pasir Ris, like what can I do with it? What can we do with it? Like make it special and stuff like that. So that's how we did it. Okay, the next one.
I can see that you put a lot of effort in conceptualizing, and you had some visualization of what you want in mind
Yeah,
before you actually.
that's always the idea from like my genius fiance. So she's always all these like amazing, crazy ideas. Like, oh my god, we should do this. We should get props and like we can get out there. We can create amazing content, amazing pictures. So that's really like heads off with her. I'm just like her right hand man. She's the idea
storyteller.
Yeah, the storyteller, and I'm here to help execute.
Execute.
Yeah,
Perfect combination. So lucky.
So this is also quite a fun shot. This is we were trying to be the characters from Adam's family. Yeah, so we got props down and everything to decorate the place. And then I just want to touch a bit on like color down in this picture down here. So color does a lot. Color evokes a sensation and emotion from your viewers. So that's something we always kind of focus on in our pictures. Because when people see colors, you relate to them. Like warm colors, red, orange, yellow, they give you this warm feeling. It feels nice. But whereas you have like blue, green, and all this kind of stuff, it feels more cold. And there's a dark, grimy mood. So down here, we try to like throw in a bit of like a Halloween fall touch with those colors.
Blue, cyan color, cool color.
Yeah, all the cool colors. Yeah, so just get out there and have fun with colors.
I like the fact that you highlighted about colors, because a lot of times people see is what you think is what you see.
Yeah.
What you see is like that, but you can create a scene by just not manipulating a picture by cloning a lot of things, but at the end of the day, conceptualizing it correctly, capture it, but tweaking the color accordingly. Yes,
colors do a lot of things. If you watch a lot of movies and stuff like that, like a horror movie, they have like a different set of colors. You never see bright colors like yellow, like the warm yellows and reds and orange, all this kind of stuff. So that's something that we always focus on when we create our pictures, like colors and setting the scene. That's like super important for us to set the scene. Like what Jaya said, like always shoot with intent. So when you're going out there, you really kind of visualize and you know what you want to do.
So audience, with the camera or phone in your hand, really the same thing is intent.
Yeah.
Go out and enjoy the outdoor itself, but set an intention, visualize, and at the end of the day, enjoy the environment. Ordinary to extraordinary.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Especially for people who have cameras, or you went and bought a nice camera.
Yeah.
You're investing time and you're investing money. Even if it's a hobby, it's okay,
Yes, good
right?
point.
Yeah.
You still spend time and money, right? And in today's world, time is equal to money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you might as well do the best, get the best out of it. It's as
Exactly,
simple as that, right?
Yes.
That's what my brother Ron always used to like to say as well when I was growing up. He'd say like when you want to do something in life, right, make sure you do it and you be the best at it. I mean, those weren't the specific words, like it was a bit
Wonderful.
harsher, but
Yep.
like you be the best at whatever you do.
Yes.
Always strive for excellence. Yeah, that's like the main idea of whenever you do things.
I think the
Yeah.
last few days when we were completing the video, we wanted to actually get the video out before Christmas. So for me, it was like I wanted to get the video out there as like a Christmas gift for. It was more targeted at the community.
Yeah.
We really didn't expect it to go viral.
Yeah.
Yeah, so overwhelming.
Pushing it in the last days.
Yeah.
You had to do a lot of editing and you're trying to squeeze in a lot of other things in between. So I remember the last day, I think I was chatting, I was filming. I was a little upset. I remember telling him, shoot like this is your last day of,
It's a good mantra, man. Yeah.
He tells you the next 1 hour is the
So
last
does
1
that
hour.
motivate you? Does that really?
How would it? I'm like, we have a deadline. I want you to shoot. This is the last day of shooting in your life.
Yeah, the brother really pushed me to like go all out with this. Yeah.
But especially if you're a hobbyist, that was just an example. It doesn't mean everybody needs to be that way because at the end of the day, it's important to enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
Once it becomes work, or pressure to perform, you're no longer enjoying it.
Yes.
So, yeah. So,
Always keep it fun. Yeah.
I think there's a few more pictures, right? Before you also can show or
Oh yeah.
your video.
One more picture, also about colors, just like to give a different mood to it.
Yeah. Wow.
And another one as well, more towards like the purplish and cold mood. Yeah.
Same place, same area.
Everything shot in the same place, the same corner in Pasir Ris.
Wow.
Yeah. All about perspective. Perspective
And
and
the chopped tree is actually is wow.
yeah.
I saw the tree trunk
Yeah,
and all
we
this.
got like very light and everything, decorate the place. Yeah, so little touch of extra goodies here and there.
Yeah, I shared earlier. Actually, I enjoy your videos and all these your show on your social media. And in fact, the question is, is it you need a special big equipment and carry everything and to me it's a bit
Yeah.
how you do it?
So like when we first started out, right? Obviously we were young. Like Emily and I, we were young. We didn't have a lot of money. We worked part-time jobs here and there. We saved up a lot,
Wow.
and then we just like went ahead and traveled the world with whatever we had on us, like budget
Oh, right,
cameras,
right.
phone.
Yeah.
So can you just play the video first, and we can check that out,
Wow.
and then I'll elaborate more after that. Yeah. So like you can do a lot with what you have on hand. You just like what are you gonna do with it?
That's why once you take up the hobby of photography, there's so much things that you actually enjoy appreciating life even more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. You appreciate. You start to look around.
So
Everything.
this is actually the video that's talking about.
Yeah, let's check it out.
is the audience listen to the audio as well? Or?
Yeah, that's audio.
Nice.
Yeah. New York.
Beautiful experience we had in New York last year.
And all this is actually through phone.
Yes. Everything you see here was completely shot on a mobile phone.
Well, it gives me so much confidence. A lot of time I need to upgrade, buy a bigger camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's all about pushing the limits and knowing what you can do with what you have. Like a lot of people travel and then sometimes they ask us questions like, oh, how do we do this like you? How do we come up with all this kind of stuff? But like what we'll tell them, like you always start with the idea in your head, like what I say, like have the intent and there's like the first step to how you're gonna do it. Like it expands your mind. You start to think, oh my god, instead of being glass half full, like, oh I don't have this one, you be like you think it's a whole glass full. What can I do? Like how do I do this? How do I do this? And then after that, you just start to get innovative, like push everything to beyond its boundaries, create whatever it is. Yeah, so that was actually not on the
Awesome, man. I can't believe it.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. So all this actually is conceptualized and all this shoot from the phone itself.
Yeah, everything from a phone. So
Wow.
sometimes the best camera you have is the one that's always with you all the time.
In fact, you
It
give me
doesn't
so
have
much.
to be like a proper camera and stuff like that. Just
Yeah.
could be a mobile phone.
Actually, you give me so much confidence. I believe the audience out there will be very confident that, in fact, their phone itself is already able to create a lot of stories, and you actually get some technical skill by itself. The next thing, actually, stories can be created anytime.
Anytime, anywhere. Just have fun at it. That's the most important thing. Don't stress
Yes.
out, have fun, and
Yes.
you always make something that people can relate and enjoy.
I like the fact that three of us our common the alignment. Actually, we appreciate life. And in fact, we always do things with a purpose. So a lot of time with the purpose itself, you visualize and things will happen. And the thing that I want to share is actually, in fact, if you were to follow the Instagram of Minister Shamugam, Desmond, Minister talking about this wildlife videos actually created by two locals, Singaporeans, in the local setting in Pasir Ris. You'll be very wild. In fact, this whole to follow through the whole sharing session until this period. We also want to hear them about why they started this project. In fact, those who have already watched got a lot of likes, but you don't have a chance to actually hear them out. So tonight over here at Loft Upstairs 1969, you got a chance to hear them out why they started this and how they actually moved and created this whole impactful wildlife video. So JP, you can share.
Sure. So, like I said, COVID happened. Most of us didn't have much to do because most of our work was overseas. So I was wondering what I could do locally. So I said, okay, maybe it's time for me to explore Pasir Ris Park. Also because I live in Pasir Ris, so I usually just bike or cycle to the Pasir Ris Park. Dan used to follow me on Instagram. I
Fan of this guy, you know.
love telling the story.
I didn't follow their Instagram only like 1.5 months ago. Then we were like, wow, JP is actually National Geographic, which I like the picture itself. Then the next thing we lead after another. So then when this project continue. So much.
Yeah, I was at the park. I think I was taking the photographs of some snakes. This guy walks in and he says, "Hi, are you Jayaprakash Bojan?" I said, "Yeah." So I said, "Yes, I'm Jayaprakash Bojan." Then he says, "Hey, can I take a selfie with you?"
Right there and then.
I'm like, "Dude, why are you embarrassing me?" He's like, I follow your work and stuff like that. I think the same day in the afternoon, I was cycling back to the park and I met him at the signal near the MRT. So I said, "Hey, dude, what are you doing here?" He said, "I live here." I'm like, "Oh, nice," because I was just living, very close, just behind. So I said, "Great." So then he said, "Are you back in the park tomorrow?" I said, "Yes." He's like, "Can I join you?" I said, "You're welcome to join."
Yeah.
And then I think pretty much that was the beginning of our
Then you
relationship.
already got something that you want to create and you got
Yeah.
the right people along the way. Wow.
So the idea was to see if I could involve some people in the community while creating the stuff. I think that was the beginning of our relationship.
So cool, man. From fan to friend.
From fan to friend, yeah.
So many things. So I think it's a mutual one because I'm learning more stuff I was not aware of. So it's just sharing with each other what I know, what he knows, life
Learning
skills.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to do something like that. So one day I asked him if he would be interested in making something like this, like a video project on
Yeah.
my vision was to show Pasir Ris Park in a way that people have never seen before.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I didn't want this to be a commercial project. Because when I started sharing some of my photographs in the local forums, a lot of people started messaging me saying, "Hey, this is amazing. We've never seen something like this in Pasir Ris Park." Because I'm always trying to show different perspectives which people don't get to see.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. And then, more importantly, I wanted somebody who had the time. So Dan had all the time.
Yeah.
And it was a good blend, you know.
Okay, look
because-
at yeah, look at it.
yeah, it was a good blend because creatively, if you see the way the video is done, it's not like any traditional video that you would wildlife video you would see in cassette. Dan comes from a lifestyle, travel style of video, and I'm more of wildlife. So it was a very nice, good blend because Dan was able to bring his style on the commercial side into wildlife zone. So if I give him the camera and say, "Hey, dude, can you film the snake?" The way he would capture the snake on video would be completely different from how I would capture the snake. So it was a really nice blend.
Wow.
That's how it started, and then we just went on. It started out as a fun project. I think somewhere 2.5 months into the down the line, we realized that we had enough footage to create something really amazing. Um, and I think icing on the cake was his ability to edit. I think by far, no, on a serious note, I think we had amazing footage which kind of brought the story up to a certain level. And I think he took it up
Wow.
just with the editing skills.
Wow.
I think the first day, and he showed me his first cut. So I told him, dude, can you just show me something that you've done in the video? He sent me a small snapshot. I looked at it and I said, okay, I don't have to worry. I just got to let this guy do what he needs to do. And I said, I'm not going to interfere in your editing process because I saw the little clip he sent me and it's almost like he read my mind. You know, I didn't have to say anything.
Yeah. I think it's the chemistry itself and the thing you already wanted what you actually expect, and he came along, with the right skill set and the right, you can say.
No, I don't appreciate him. Appreciate him much, but I think the reason I was kind of surprised was I wasn't expecting Dan, who doesn't have so much of exposure to wildlife photography or even wildlife filmmaking, to come up with something like that. It was like just brilliant. I was like blown away when I saw his edit. I'm like, dude, this is amazing.
This one is another reminder is that it's not about the subject, it's the mindset, the framework that whatever things come to your hand, because you have the right mindset and the killing of capturing something, you can create a story not just about one single subject. So if nature come along, you'll be able to execute well itself.
Absolutely. So I think it just works. I think this is just the beginning. I think we have a lot of ideas in mind, more domestic stuff because we don't want to travel. I think it's too risky to travel with the situation right now. So we're filming for the next series. Hopefully have something. I think we've already raised the bar. So we're trying to see how we can, get something better.
So let's hear from Dan also. So what makes you decide to actually work with your idol at the same time? Actually, in fact, how comfortable do you think you can actually do it, and what committed to that? And it's like instead of like the travel concept creator. Now this is actually the free project in a way. What makes you decide?
But I mean, who didn't jump at that, man? I mean, this dude reached out like let's do a project together. I was like, oh my god, I'm totally in for this. Like, I jumped right into it and like put my heart and soul into it. So like, I've always enjoyed like nature and wildlife a lot. I love animals a lot, and I'm always like illustrating animals and painting all these kind of fancy creatures and stuff like that. So like, I've always been passionate about it. And that's what really drives me to do this. And yeah, I don't know, man. It's been like a crazy journey. Just these 4 months, it's been amazing, man. Everything is like just going up and so overwhelming.
So
Yeah,
beautiful journey. In fact, the last 3 minutes, in fact, we'll share the video. But the key thing actually, we will not share the whole video because the video is actually around 11 minutes. But I want you all to actually capture the gist, and after hearing itself, same as me, equally excited to watch again. And the next thing is actually go back to our Facebook and look at the link again. But now we'll preview and let you watch again at least the last 3 minutes. Let's watch the video. Wow. Well done, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for welcoming us here.
So even the sequential of things, the storyboarding itself, right? You capture a lot of things, then you start using whatever required.
Extraordinary part
the
comes
heart
to life.
pretty much nothing is in your control. There would be weeks when both of us would be like spending hours in the park and we come back with nothing.
Yeah.
And then there are days when it would be like just magical days because there's so much happening. You sometimes don't know whether to capture that or capture this. So that's how nature is. It's unpredictable, right? Because
As the sun rises, this extraordinary park.
I had an idea in mind. I had an idea in mind. I think over the 3 months, it kind of slowly took shape, and we kind of built the story as we went. Because initially I had a different idea, but then
Sally, hang on. Yeah.
that's fine. I think
Yeah.
it's a heavy file.
Yeah.
You know, so the interesting
Yeah,
part,
we-
actually, what was you doing in the video, some lagging. So the key thing, I always appreciate the fact that all these things that you capture, and too many times as a photographer, a lot of people, instant gratification. Immediately you take, immediately you must post, immediately. So in the end, you're so rushing for things to showcase. But to conceptualize all these snippets of videos and make it to a story, it really takes the patience and really must have a good storyboarding. So I really admire the fact that you're putting the effort, and as a photographer,
Eventually, to switch to be a videographer, is there a challenge, or do you feel that it just seamlessly?
It's definitely a challenge because I think deep inside I'm still a photographer. Video is not something that I pursued a lot.
dilemma for
Though
him.
I shot some documentaries in the past. I think I've done like 3 documentaries in the past.
Yeah.
But at my heart, I'm still a photographer. So a lot of times when there's some action happening, it's like I'm fighting myself. I'm like, should I do video or should I take some amazing photographs?
The video is ready. Let's watch the video. Continue. So when you actually play the video, the audience can hear the sound, but our conversation will not be heard at the same time.
This extraordinary park.
Yeah, well, I think that's the whole point, and that's something I do as part because I do a little bit of coaching and teaching. And,
Don't you inspire people, let the, not just the platform, let the people to bring them on board, to give them the push. You can see so many photographers hanging there with the tripod. Not that they don't put effort, but they put direction.
I think it's also because of my corporate background.
The sea,
And the reason I say
rivers,
that is because
and the mangroves
everybody shoots videos,
makes
everybody
this one
shoots
of the most
photographs.
biodiverse parks in Singapore.
To take it to the next level, just being a good photographer or videographer is not enough.
Yeah.
You need communication skills, you need the marketing skills, you need all those other so-called soft
That's what we can learn from you.
I had the honor of learning and being inspired firsthand.
So it's all about taking what we have and then making it a more usable, sellable product out of it. So I think bridging the gap is where most people struggle with, and that's what I like to teach. So at least with all the people I interact with or I spend time with, I'm constantly talking to them, telling them, how we could do that. Or
Definitely invite you all one more time to come back again. And I think later we end this
Survival
thing.
is at
Everybody,
the heart.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
And a Happy New Year, new hope. And actually new perspective.
Skippers are
Then
territorial.
let's turn ordinary
The
to
males
extraordinary
cross
to push
paths
the
to fight to establish dominance
Yeah.
over
So we
territory.
can slowly fade off the video already. Slowly fade off the video. Wow, see everybody, are you very excited as what I actually been through? First time when I watch it, I'll rewatch and rewatch again, and now you only just watch around 2 minutes. The kidding actually continue to watch, and the kidding you appreciate so much. In a small area in Pasir Ris, the heartland area, the city area, can shoot so much nature. So the next thing, really thanks JP and Dan again. So let's yes.
Super grateful and thankful to have met Jaya.
Yes.
Jesus.
Like, for real, super grateful at TV. It's really very kind and inspiring. I learned so much in the past 3 months.
No, I had an agenda.
The fact that at least we have gratitude. So I think gratitude is very important. From then actually he can be so expert in things, but actually gratitude you get ourselves learning more and more and expand our horizon, even getting better and better. So in fact, it's actually 2 more days to the new year. So let's wish the audience and everybody a Happy New Year! New Year, new hopes, new perspective.
right.
Okay, and we are always able to change ordinary to extraordinary. Okay, see you guys. Thank you so much.
For having us.
Yes.